Today, former President Donald Trump's associate made his first court appearance in the Mar-a-Lago classified document investigation. Carlos de Oliveira, the property manager of Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, is accused of deleting security camera footage amid the ongoing classified documents case and lying to federal investigators. His court appearance comes as the former president's team paid for the legal fees of some of his former aides, including de Oliveira.
For Trump, the indictments spell mounting legal bills to $40 million in legal bills to date this year alone. That's according to the Washington Post, who reported that this money came not from his own pockets, but from Save America. That's Trump's political action group.
It's a significant amount of money, but we're talking about up to 4 now significant prosecutions where you're going to have a number of lawyers in a number of different jurisdictions coordinating all of these efforts.
So for more insight on this, let's go ahead and bring in Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Kali Frodes.
Kali, $40 million, that is a lot of money. As a lawyer yourself, how do you rack up these kind of bills that high?
I only aspire to rack up that much money. But what I can say is that 40 is only obviously this year. Over the last 2 years, it's 56 million. And so the numbers are mounting. I've done a lot of work with New York City attorneys and Florida-based attorneys. The average probably legal hourly fee in Charlotte's, a few $100s, ranging from maybe 200 to 800 to 900. New York attorneys are, starting at 1,500. That's the low end.
And this is the team of attorneys.
Right. And so if you're getting those Manhattan attorneys where they're charging $2,000 plus per hour, it can add up easily. You're talking about depositions, interrogatories, discovery, all these times where they have to physically be there. They have associates. They have other staff that are working on these cases. It's easy for legal fees to add up when you're talking about any type of trial or litigation. Anytime I have a client that comes to me, I tell them litigation is expensive. You can make a deposit in terms of a retainer agreement, and I can kind of forecast what that should look like. And the numbers, I can give you a ballpark range of where you should be, but other things can happen. You can anticipate 1 or 2 hearings and potentially get 5 or 6 hearings, and the hourly rate is still going. And so if you're looking at the money, and that's what I did, I looked at it earlier, he's given a number of millions to one individual. 3 million is the most he's given to one individual, then 2.1, and then another 1.5 million to the same individual at a number of different firms. And so that money is obviously ensuring that he has legal defense, not just for himself, but his other associates.
Well, yeah, and all those hours certainly rack up in a high-profile case like this. So this was all paid for using PAC money, not for campaigning, but for defending himself, is kind of raising some ethical and legal questions. So can you use that money for legal fees instead of campaigns?
I think that is a grayish area, and I hate to be like that. Oftentimes when the client asks me a question, if I don't know the answer, I'll say, I'll go look it up. And it's not clear when you're looking this up. It says that you can't use those funds for personal gains or for personal use. And so if you're talking about him defending himself, is that my personal use? I think that's where it gets blurry. For sure, it's clear that he can use campaign funds for defense, but in defense of office or defense of running for his campaign, we're in unprecedented and uncharted territories, and so I think the courts will have to weigh in. I think we'll have to get the Federal Election Commission as well to weigh in and say, well, can an individual in this type of situation where we've never been before use this amount of money for his legal defense? But currently, I think the answer is clearly yes. But I think in the future, we may have a different type of opinion.
And certainly adding to all those legal fees is the possible third indictment from Georgia or the trying to overthrow the 2020 election, and also the DOJ's J6 investigation.
I mean, obviously, all those are connected. I mean, if you're looking at the DOJ's January 6th, it's the totality of the entire attempt to overthrow the election. So you obviously had Michigan, what occurred there. And I think if I'm a gambling man, I'm assuming that Georgia would come next, and so that you would have both the connected incidents that occurred to that one nucleus, which is what happened in January 6th. And then I would assume that Jack Smith's special prosecutor investigation would then at some point bring their indictment. However, we thought we had an indictment from Jack Smith last week, and we got this superseding indictment in Florida. So who knows? But I would assume if I'm planning it out and I'm coordinating how we can attempt to ensure that our picture is connected together, I want to make sure we get the one in Georgia connected first.
We're having new territory every day. Kali, thank you.